do you think the most important position for the Niners? What is the most important position for the Niners to address this offseason? Last season, they felt it was corner. They got Charvarius Ward. He was a terrific addition. What do you think if they're going to make one splurge in free agency? Let's start there. If one splurge in free agency, what do you think that splurge should be? Or are they not in a position to make any?
Well, damn, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
If we were to have the bread to go get somebody, I would get another corner. I feel like with the linebacking core that we have and with the coaching surrounded with the requisite guys that we can bring in for our defensive line, we'll be okay. I feel like those are, as far as pedigree is concerned, our linebacking core is as good as it gets. With our D-line, I'm really okay with Nick going in with what we have now with Eric and Coach Kasarik and what they would do to just bring it in. But
Drake Jackson could have a huge freaking jump year 2 and be the guy,
exactly.
the number 2. He could, yeah.
But corner is something that always seems to get us. It bites us. And I feel like even with E-Man going down, I mean, are we going to pay him? And is he still going to be E-Man once he gets back? I hope he is, right? I want him to be. But that's a real question. Yeah, and I feel like Charvarius gave us a couple of hiccups during the year, but he did show us what it feels like to
he
put
was
a guy
excellent
out.
Against AJ Brown. He was excellent
Very
against AJ
good.
Brown. Yes, he was.
Yeah,
yep.
And I think another corner would really solidify us defensively. I think another corner would free up a lot of what we do on a defensive line, where we could actually get home a lot faster if we actually got another guy.
I thought the defense was so much better before Emmanuel Mosley went down. I thought they were getting coverage sacks. I mean, I thought they were
when Emmanuel Mosley was playing,
yeah.
And he's really the key ingredient. Like we struggle with Javon, we struggle with interior help all year, but really even though we were the number 1 defense throughout the year, in my opinion, what took us down from legendary to really, really good is when we lost E-Man.
I agree.
Agree. Yeah. Hold on, that's my phone. So having E-Man took us to the next level, and we can't afford to lose him or lose that type of production again. So I would say doubling down and getting another corner will be good. I
think an underrated signing for the Eagles this year was James Bradbury, adding him to Darius Slay. I mean, it's one thing to have a shutdown corner, but if you have just a guy on the other side, you can go after him.
If you're looking at that pass rush for Philly, a lot of that was coverage. A lot of that was quarterbacks not being able to get that ball out. And I feel like that's kind of a missing element to our defense. We get a lot of turnovers by way of our defensive line pressure, and we kind of defend the pass from the line of scrimmage. And I feel like we would be a lot better served if we got another corner to help us out. So another corner.
That's interesting. I mean, it's always a good position to address in free agency because it's cheaper than offensive tackle. It's cheaper than anything on the D-line. It's a very important position. Obviously, the Niners have to improve in the trenches too. But if they're going to improve at right tackle, man, that's expensive. If they're going to improve at D tackle, if they're going to get Daron Payne, that's another Eric Armstead contract or more. So I'm with you. I mean, I think you could probably get. But the question is the best. Can the Niners even afford Emmanuel Mosley? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't even know.
I mean, for sure, there's going to have to be some restructuring. For sure. This offseason, because we only got like 16 in cap room, right?
Let me see what they got. That's a good question. I don't even know. 49ers. I don't even know. Let's see. Mm-hmm. They're saying, I don't know. $8 million is saying on over the cap right now, but that'll probably change. $8 million.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, I mean, they got to do something, but if we had to bring in, and of course, we're talking about like one impact guy, the most impact. For me, it would be a corner. Being able to successfully walk into a game week in and week out saying that we could take 2 of your best pass catchers off the field.
Yeah.
That's a huge get, and a lot of teams don't have that.
And it'll help the pass rush. Because I feel like a lot of times what the Niners do is they play off with like Lenore or the corners they don't trust, and they just give up these quick throws. Like how are you going to get pressure if you're just giving up quick throws? The whole idea early in the season was let's play press, let's take away the quick throws, force the quarterback to hold the ball and hitch and get hit, and it worked. But you can't. I mean, once Lenore plays press and gets beat one time, Ryan's is like, okay, we can't do that anymore.
Also, you know what else
Yeah.
another corner would do? Another corner, in a sense, would kind of help us out with our Jimmy Ward problems too. We're always taking him out of position to come down and play nickel because we're absent of that another outside guy. We need another corner. We got to stop robbing Peter to pay Paul with getting this done. We got to get another corner.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. And Lenore, nothing against Lenore, but he should be like the nickel. I don't know that he's a starting outside corner. Although, he came through down the stretch. Shout out Diamador. But
definitely.
No offense. Yeah, I think it's just... You're going to have to defend the best wide receivers in the league, and you got to have premium talent at that position. You need two.
And everything else is homegrown, right? We've done a phenomenal job, but it's time to go get another hired gun there. I think another corner will be phenomenal.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do at right tackle. I mean, it's possible the right side of their offensive line next year is going to be Burford and Jalen Moore. I mean, I don't know. They're young. They're athletic, but yikes.
I'll say this. At this time of the season last year, we were even a little further into the season, we were absolutely befuddled about what they were going to do at safety, what they were going to do at right guard, what they were going to do at the other corner, like center. Remember, we were like, what are they going to do?
They patched it together.
Yeah,
they found some great
them.
safeties.
Right now, they're circling the wagons and they're taking some much needed rest. But one thing that I will say, over the years, for good or for worse, they always come up with answers. So let's see what they come up with.
Yeah, because last year what they decided was they need to get a better corner and they needed to improve on special teams. So they essentially said, DJ Jones, we love you, but we're going to trade you essentially for a corner. We're not going to pay you. We're going to give that money and some to this. And DJ Jones is a really good player, but it was a good call. It makes a bigger impact.
Right, and it hurt to let DJ go. I didn't think it was. I was like, man, we're letting DJ go. But
they still have a great run defense. I mean,
it worked out.
It did. So now, what are they? Those were two things last year that they honed in on: corner, special teams. What'll it be this year? I can see corner because they're going to have to make a sizable offer to Emmanuel Mosley. He might get better than that, and if we'll see.
That'll be something that I know we're going to talk about down the road. What are these moves that the Niners make? What does that say about how they want to get better? Right.
Yep. Absolutely. Rich says we need a stud right tackle and a legit number 2 tight end. See, I don't think Kyle thinks he needs a stud right tackle because what's great about the stud right tackle allows you to play like the Eagles or where you have open formations where you can detach your tight end or you can play spread. Kyle's a condensed old school 1997 offense. Like he embraces the old school right tackle who's, you know what I mean? Like not many teams do anymore, but he does.
Offense, the right tackle doesn't get treated like today's right tackle.
Right. He's not on an island very much. Yeah.
Today's right tackle is essentially a left tackle.
He's
asked to do the same exact things. He has to be just as athletic. And in our offense, the right tackle is not asked to be that athletic.
No, really, because there's very few plays where they're just, 5 wide or whatever. It doesn't happen very much.
But you know what's crazy is that during the very few plays, that's because the game schemes us up that way. And it's time for us to start realizing that, we have an identity, but teams they're picking at us for a reason. And they come at us on defense a certain way because of the fact that they scout us up and they're like, all right, well, they lean on that right side.
Right.
They power on this right side. They lean on the left side. They power on the right side, and when they pass and go play action, he rolls out left because we know they don't got nothing on the right side. And, teams are smart.
One thing is like what they don't necessarily have to find Tristan Wirfs. They're not going to. But what kills me is that McGlinchey has this reputation as being a good run blocker. Man, it seemed to me that whenever they had successful runs in 2022, it was to the left. And I feel like if they could get someone who's just a better run blocker than what McGlinchey is today, at this point in his career, that would help. Because I feel like this part of the reason they stopped trying to impose their will as a running team is they were very left-handed as a running team this year. If you could just get a better run blocker at right tackle, that would be great. And Caleb McGarry, who a lot of people have been pointing out, I know he's expensive, but he's very, very highly rated run blocking right tackle this year. They could get him.
Go get a guy like this. Yeah. Like reasons why coaches are always held to high scrutiny is because you're only asked to put 11 out there. Go get a guy. All right. I understand that the market is hard and everything, but that's why you get paid millions of dollars. There's only 11. Go get 11.
Yeah, and your team is so good. Like, you only have 3 or 4 little spots where you could even say, like, I don't necessarily have an entrenched starter here. Maybe we can improve. How many places can you really improve this team? 3? Come on. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I dare you.
They're gonna find a way. They will.
I think they will.
I feel like the holes on this team that don't get filled are because of hubris or money. That's really it. It's either because we think, oh, we'll scheme it up, we'll go around it, that's something that we can coach up internally, or we just flat out can't afford it.
One more position that's important for the Niners to address this offseason, and it might be the most important. They just won't address it in a big way, but they will. Quarterback. They will. They're going to draft one, and they're going to probably sign one too. And now maybe these guys are just camp arms to get them through the offseason, but from the Niners' track record, they go through quarterbacks like they go through running backs. And they just might draft the next Brock Purdy this year. It's important. They might have to. Otherwise, the Niners are all thinking Brock's going to come back and everything's going to be great. Well, worst case scenario, this season goes left. The quarterbacks aren't healthy, and it's a travesty. So quarterback position got to be addressed. I think they will.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're getting, though.
I agree that they need to get another quarterback. Not only everybody says it when they get here is that the playbook is big. It's hard to traverse. And if we have a problem keeping quarterbacks upright, you need to have as many guys in the building learning that system as possible. So
constantly.
Yeah. And again, we talked about the emergency quarterback. What would an emergency quarterback would have done in our offense? What type of expertise or type of knowledge transfer is going on with an emergency quarterback on a Kyle Shanahan offense? So with that said, I think that we need to have guys constantly learning this offense, because when we can have anybody, we've seen what can happen when we don't have this, and that's some of the stuff that frustrates you and all of us when we get the type of exit meetings that we get, where you want to hear the head guy saying, you know what, we got to have some more quarterbacks in the room. We kind of got caught flat-footed.
Every season it seems like they fall short because they either didn't have enough running backs or quarterbacks. They just run out of bodies at those two positions. It's like, how many bodies have they accumulated at running back? I mean, every year they get in 2 more. That's how they should approach the quarterback position too. Bring in 2. Draft a guy, sign an undrafted free agent every year, because they get hurt and it's an important position and you don't really know. If they thought they hit on Ty Davis Price, you hit on Jordan Mason. Great. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that you missed on TDP.
Swing again.
Just keep bringing in bodies.
Swing again. Yeah.
Swing again.
So and that's why I like our draft, especially with as many picks as we have. We got a shit ton of picks this year. I want as many bodies as possible, because for us, thankfully, we still have a foundation. So bring in the bodies, bring in the guys that are supplementary in role. They have a specific thing that they know how to do, and we can coach up the other stuff later. A la Stevie Burford, a la Drake Jackson, where that's what we do. We bring in young guys where we can ingest the skill set that can be utilized right away up against the veterans that we already have, and we build the plane in the air with time on task, right? The only player that we did not do that with was Trey Lance. And look where it got us. Right. We did it with Burford. We did it with Hufanga. We did it with Demo. We did it with all of our young guys, where we made trial by fire. We threw them out there, and we trusted our veterans to play alongside these guys and bring them up. And there's one time that we broke outside of our identity, and look where it's gotten us. That's
right. 2 wasted years for him, and no NFC and no Super Bowl title for the Niners.
How much of a veteran-laden team do we have if we can't ingest this kid right away? What is
good
that?
Call. It's a good point. What's the point of having all these veterans?